Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. It's Tuesday. I am live. It's a beautiful day. I got the luck of the Irish, the luck of the Arabic, Lebanese people. It was a great day all the way around. The Lions canceled a media session, so got a chance to enjoy green beer. Had a great time. Started the day early, 7 a.m. You guys saw joining Detroit Lions Talk Live with Coach Dan. It was a fun opportunity to chat with him a little bit about the Detroit Lions. Fun. Always enjoy those that take an opportunity to invite the doc. It's always welcome. It's fun. It's a great way to talk to other people and their thoughts and see how they interview and what they want to talk about. And it's great. Thank you guys. It was nice, well received to see the 9-10 people be like, Doc is here in the morning. Absolutely. It was cool. Good show planned for you. We are live. We are here in the Macomb Township Studios talking. Hope everybody enjoyed it. You can go check it out. Go check out Detroit Lions Live. Does a great job. Great work building his platform, doing his thing in the mornings. It was fun. Fun morning. Got out to a great establishment out here in Rochester and had a good time. And then still some news. So we got 4 great topics today. What are we going to talk about? Well, some NFL analysts have been weighing in on free agency, and it's a mixed bag, as always. Some feel the Lions' free agency made the team take a step backwards. We'll look at that. Where are the Lions today? Is Brad Holmes actually underrated? A analyst put together his own list based on he made his own list, and he said based on the production value added of the teams that have been drafting since 2021, the Lions are the second best team with only one team drafting better. And it doesn't take into account any quarterbacks drafted. So we'll talk about that. Is Brad Holmes underrated for the work that he did from where he was? We'll get your sense of it. And which Lions draft pick in the last couple years has to step it up? Who's still here that has to step it up? Is it Ennis Rakestraw? Is it Terry Arnold? Who do you think needs to step it up most? But let's get into it. Let's start on a positive note because it ties into each other. The Lions were ranked the second best team drafting since 2021. And I understand because heavily 21, 22, and the top half of 23 are rated very well, which makes a lot of people happy. So we'll give the Lion supporters that are all loving this, give them a moment. It's fine. It's a holiday. It's St. Patrick's Day. Let's start off on a good note. Steve Palazzolo used to be, I believe, at PFF. Now is doing his own thing and is host of the Check the Mic podcast. So this is what he came up with. And he puts under it in the comments, which you can look at. He goes, this is based on my own metrics, which the internet loved. Based on production value added. And I'll tell you what that means. Best drafting teams since 2021. The Rams, the Lions, the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Bucks. Now, just on the surface, this list is offensive. You want to know why? The Lions are the only team that haven't won a Super Bowl. One of these teams just doesn't belong here, but I get it. Okay, production value added is like a metric that people will use to describe how well a player that's added, drafted, impacts a team besides stats. It's how often are they in the end zone? How often do they help the team win? Where does the draft pick help in terms of production? Okay. Now, on surface, I get it. The Lions turned around their fortunes in 2021. And we'll tie it into Brad Holmes. But what do you think of this list right here when you see it? Rams, Lions, Eagles, Chiefs, and Bucks. My first question is, are the Lions truly, in the last 5 years, overall, actually drafting well? And we'll tie it into a Brad Holmes conversation later. Rams, Lions, Eagles, Chiefs, Bucks. Which team doesn't belong there? What's your thoughts when you see that? What was your thoughts when you see that graphic from Steve? Steve Wilds gets in. It means Brad sucks at everything but drafting. It means um that yes, the total package of free agency trades, getting lucky, has not been as effective as needed. Nick gets in. Brad's drafting has been terrible once you account for the gimme picks. Steve Palazzolo used to be at PFF. Now he's doing, independent work, I believe, with to Check the Mike's podcast. But he's an analytics guy. What did you think seeing that list? Rams are the only team considered better at drafting in the last 5 years. Steve Wild, those teams all have better quarterbacks too. Silent service, you are not going to hit on every pick. That's not realistic. Look, you have to give Brad Holmes credit for the first 3 years, clearly. But right after the fourth pick in the 2023 draft, the second half of that draft, not the best. And from then on, I am of the opinion the 24 and 25 draft could have been much better. That the team was in a better spot. He decided to take a couple projects, took a quarterback that you evaluated and ended up didn't work out. You can't take the credit for the good picks and then just ignore the bad ones. Silent service, Brad has drafted well. What grade overall would you give Brad Holmes in the last 5 years? I would give Brad Holmes a B- overall. It's Jay Stees. What's going on, brother? Brad only had one bad draft, and it was the one in Detroit in 24. But you can't have bad drafts. You can't have bad collective drafts. You just can't. That's why you regress. But overall, 21, 22, 23, we're fairly good. 24 and 25, 25, I think, has a chance to be a great draft, but time will tell if, Miles Frazier contributes, Dan Jackson. TM gives him a C. Oh, look at you guys are tougher than the doc. TM Martin Esquire gives Brad Holmes a C. Phoenix says, I won't say Brad is bad at scouting or the draft. It's his roster management and free agency are terrible. Before we go further, there's 125 early people in here. Hope everybody had a good St. Patrick's Day. I got my fill of green beer. I feel good. We still got 6-7 articles up today. I don't know how with all this stuff. It was kind of intended to be a lighter day. The Lions had news nugget. They had a edge rusher in town. We'll check on that later on today. But do as always, smash the like button. You guys were slipping. I want to be around 100 likes every show. So go back to yesterday's show and smash the like button there. I want to be around 100 likes every show. The early, and also too, so that way if you forget, hit the bell, the notification bell to know when Detroit Lions on SI drops a video or goes live. You never miss a thing. There's 75 people on X and 60 or so here on YouTube. So everybody in here should smash the like button. We get to 50 real fast. Yeah. See, I think Brad obviously does his best work in the draft, is where he's aggressive, maneuvers. He's able to be shrewd, but also too, you got to remember too that many people could argue that you could have gotten maybe Giovanni Manu in a later round. You didn't need to invest the way you did to get him. You didn't need to invest to get Broderick Martin. You didn't need to invest to get Isaac Tesla. So remember, there's good things that the Lions have been doing, and there's things that have been in a manner that allows people to question them. Are the Lions the second best drafting team? Do you agree? Thumbs up or thumbs down? You can check it out from Steve Palazzolo. The list again is 1 the Rams, 2 the Lions, 3 the Eagles, 4 the Chiefs, 5 the Bucks. Okay, so then fill me in. If the Lions are drafting well, why haven't they won a playoff game in 2 years? Bad luck with injuries, Jared Goff not stepping up, coaching. Is the problem Dan Campbell? Why are the Lions the only team on that list that haven't won a Super Bowl? And do we have to then, let's just take a look at factually what's going on here. Brad Holmes has drafted quite well early on. Look who he's added to this team. Let's be fair and give him the credit for who has been drafted. The early drafts have been good. Yes, he gets the benefit of having drafted early. But look who's been added to this team. You get all pro caliber talent that's going to get you 9-10 wins. The problem is, did you get elite talent enough to be able to win a Super Bowl? That's where I think there's some things lacking. The Lions have added Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kirby Joseph, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Aiden Hutchinson, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs. That's noteworthy. You get credit. That's the top end. But that's, 8 good players. Unfortunately for the Slappies, they go, yay, we like that. Unfortunately, they don't want to hear this list either. Why? Those that say we're honest and say that Brad Holmes is a legendary drafter, they just ignore this list and just maybe flub their words a little bit or just ignore it. Levi Onwuzurike, Terrion Arnold, Jamar Jefferson, Josh Pascal, James Mitchell, Broderick Martin, Colby Sorsdahl, Antoine Green, Hendon Hooker, Ennis Rakestraw, Giovanni Manu, Sione Vaki. So that's the nature of the draft. That's why it's so tough. It's a 50-50 proposition. As well as you're going to draft, you're going to start to collect over 5 years names of players that are okay, but need to step up. And I think 2 of the names I listed are going to be vital for your season in 2026. But does Brad Holmes deserve more credit for at least getting the team to 4 consecutive winning seasons and putting them in a position where we can talk about them adding talent? Is Brad Holmes underrated? We get our first super chat. $5 super chat from TM Martin Esquire 6216. $5 to the Lions. Go luck yourself. 4/23/2026. Appreciate you, TM. Hope all is well. Hopefully you get a chance to enjoy some cocktails. It was a great day, man. The vibe was good. The Irish music was flowing. Everybody was dancing, having a good time. Middle-aged environment, so nobody was sloppy. The drinks were flowing affordably. Steve Wilds became a YouTube member. Member access. Smash your first emojis, Steve. Welcome, welcome. Doc, you didn't win a playoff game last year. What do you mean 2 years? Yeah, it's been 2 years. You didn't win a playoff game in 2024. You didn't win a playoff game in 2025. So your last playoff run was 2 years ago. And your team has regressed. In 23, they made their run. Last 2 years, they did not win playoff games. They got to the playoffs in 24, did not win. And last year, they did not. Superfly gets in. Superfly white guy. He deserves mad credit. They were at an all-time low before he showed up, given the 0-16 season, but the Lions fans were burnt completely out before he showed up and shook the tree. Appreciate you listening in, Superfly. I get it. He gets credit for the 4 years of winning culture, the expectations rising? Absolutely. But unfortunately, Superfly, I think where the criticism lies is that there are a handful of draft picks that have been maneuvered poorly, and their free agency has not worked out for the Lions. It just hasn't. Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley. Now, you've had some good ones too. Roy Lopez, David Montgomery, amazing signings. So it's no exact science for sure. But I do think that you pay your general manager to make elite moves. And I think the level up from being a good team to being an elite team, the Lions haven't done the necessary stuff to get over the hump. Not aggressive enough. Maybe not the aggressiveness that fans are looking for, but I think too passive in free agency. I think he's, culture over talent. Silent Service says anything past the fifth round is a crapshoot duck. Yeah, but that's the job of the general managers to find those. You got to be able to find those fifth round, sixth round gems. It's Jay Stees. No way you put TA in the same category. When you're a first round pick, the level of expectations through the roof. He's talking about yellow jacket type stuff. I'm not seeing it yet. It could be there. We'll also talk about who needs to step up more. Is it TA? Is it Ennis? Later on. But is Brad Holmes actually a general manager that's doing a better job than people are giving him credit for? Steve Wilds, his first emoji. I think this is where I think most fans of the Lions that critique Brad Holmes have looked at it and said, where is the commitment to a defensive end? You only got 3 on the roster at the moment. And I think this is where the grade comes down. I give him a B minus overall in his 5 years. The absolute failure to address edge opposite of Hutch is criminal. I think he's tried to give Hutch players that are affordable, economical, but the swing and miss on Davenport twice is unacceptable. Can't do that. You're absolutely right. And also to remember that the criticism lies in the Lions in the final report card that matters most. 2023 NFC Championship game. This is the final report card that matters most to most people. In 24, you lose to a Washington team after your season is decimated with injuries. Do you solve the injury problem? No. It happens again in 25, and you don't make the playoffs. So your truth out there in Slappy Land is Brad Holmes is a legend for regular season wins. That justifies a massive markup in ticket prices, and that justifies not being aggressive in free agency. We have a good team, but we are just going to allow ourselves to get to the playoffs and figure it out later. You are allowed to kind of go into the playoffs, maybe arguably as the number 1 seed. And I'm not saying you should do this, but when Brett Holmes says define aggressive, the Denver Broncos had a need at wide receiver. They plugged it quickly. Now, Jalen Waddle, you could argue, is a player that maybe not the best player to go out and target, but they made some moves. They gave up draft capital. He does it in the draft. Ooh, our third. TM Martin, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Your support and watching regularly. It means a lot, guys. Oh, and I'll give you guys a shout out too. Brad Holmes is the poster guy for close, but no cigar. It's fun, man. Today, too, also, within the realm of St. Patrick's Day, we had a meeting at On SI. You're not supposed to give the results of these meetings, but I will. So, obviously, when you're part of a team, we look at how the team produces. And I don't typically worry about that. I mean, obviously, I want to have the Lions on SI readership at a high level. But obviously, guys, I've been here 8 years. Management's happy. But today, I've always strived for number one. It's always been cool. I've gotten there a couple times where I'm the best NFL site, but today was cool because it's a marker of where the readership is at in regards to free agency. When there's heavy news, where do you guys go? And our ranking was off the charts good. Amazing to sit there and to see, get to screenshot the screen, the Zoom meeting, and then to see the teams ranked and to see the Lions up there. It's a testament to you guys. You guys come to Lions on SI despite, you know, despite loud voices that don't understand media or don't understand situations and don't understand how the other side works from my position. It was cool. The proof's in the pudding. I'm so thankful. The readership was high. It's more than last year. The first 15 days of March, which is my favorite months of the year, give you guys credit. Readership is off the charts. Videos off the charts. And now we're going to keep growing YouTube and enjoying our time that we spend in the 7 o'clock hour. It's great. And I actually enjoy talking to readers. Whether you like it or you don't, you'll see me bantering with people going, man, you guys are way off on your assessment. And then we just have fun with it. So I enjoy it. Thank you guys. It makes it fun to be part of, to be in the mix. And then also to get invites from a guy like Riley and Coach Dan to be like, hey, we want your time. We want to see what you're about. And then to see the positive reactions. Cool. So thank you for that. Thank you humbly for allowing a regular guy, regular podcaster to create content, make some noise, do the thing. It's cool. Eloy gets in. Eloy Trevino gets in. You're my number one source, Doc. Best perspective and ask the questions that matter. Like I said, just one of the guys. Yeah, it was cool. It's cool when you recognize. It's cool. I would flash the rankings, but I'm not supposed to. But thank you. Thank you. Like I said, proof's in the pudding. You can't last 8 years if you don't do the work that the readers like, and in turn, the bosses like. So I'm very thankful, blessed, humbled, and also too, the proof's in the pudding. I mean, my phone rings every day for an outlet to want to talk to me. I'm humbled by that. I'm shocked by that. That's why I never say no. Oh yeah, a couple. Not like I don't know too many of them, but yeah, of course, a couple. How much competition is there? I don't know the competitive level of the other guys, but I'm up there competitive. I have a goal. I want the site to be up there. But I have a couple colleagues that you can tell who I do it with online. But yeah, everyone's doing their thing and they're busy and every market's different. Certain markets just have rabid fans too and bigger markets. But we're in the mix, man. You can't last. This is 8 years. 8 years. So also too, I actually we'll put it this way. If you think I'm doing clickbait, how the hell do I get away with it for 8 years? It's amazing. That actually should raise my profile in your book. Damn, that fool's doing clickbait for 8 years, 2,500 days, and people still come back and click more. Thank you. So when I hear the word clickbait, I always try to defend it, but it's great because it's actually a compliment. How the hell does a clickbait guy, according to some, get to keep doing this for 8 years and get to support other journalists? So thank you humbly. Oh, Phoenix, I appreciate that Doc doesn't glaze a team and holds them accountable. Of course. Listen, the proof's in the pudding. It's not like I'm saying anything wild. The team regressed. You can spit shine a turd to your audience. I don't. That's fine, but I think they catch on eventually when the team, the season review happens and they're not in the playoffs. One Repub has become a YouTube member. Hit the smash and the like button. CPT Nemo 1776. St. Brown was a late pick gem. Absolutely. 4th round pick. Arguably one of the best value picks you're going to find. Oh, for sure. Oh, no. Listen, they treat me well. It's like I said, why do you think at the end of every show on Sports Illustrated is the best partner the Detroit Sports Podcast and the Lone Wolves Podcast could ever have? The single best. Exactly. Thank you, Doc. But oh, these people think Brad Holmes is B during free agency. Yeah. Well, I'm giving him an F. Call me a hater, people. I don't care because I know what I saw. Yeah. Listen, you can try to erase the negatives of what's going on. But in the end, when you don't draft as well and when you don't hit free agency as aggressive, you end up with a 2025 season. If you just want to look at one season, 2025, you're not in the playoffs. That's a disaster. And there's reasons for it. And everybody knows why. But I think Brad Holmes overall deserves credit, but I don't think he's underrated. So the answer is Brad Holmes underrated? No. The skepticism that he gets is proper. The fans are looking outside of, the hardcore fans, which I get. I respect it. You want to be a fan, you want to be a supporter, you want to, get that perspective out there, but you also just have to include the negative side. That some draft picks have not gone well, some free agents that would have been beneficial. Like the simple question that I would always just ask people is when you're not talking real, why? Okay, all the good stuff that Brad Holmes has done, where's the Super Bowl? Where's the sustained success? Is sustained success just being ranked high in media analyst lists or being criticized? That's what you're looking for is yeah, I'm going to rise up and get bricked up over a ranking from an analyst. But then you turn around and the ranking you don't like, you call crazy. Mm. So you like So you're saying to me, you like the rankings that you you favor where it favors the Lions, but where it goes in this next one where it tells the story or an opinion that the team regressed, you hate that. It's crazy. Listen, fans are cool. I get it. Fans, fanatics, I love it. I love it. But at the same time, I just think that those fans that live in denial, I think get hurt a little bit more emotionally when the team loses. Remember, we started questioning the Lions week 1 last year. So this crew at Lone Wolves, they were aware that there were issues in week 1. I'm like, Dan, let's make pre-snap motion cool again. So there was no denial here. We kept it pretty real. I just feel like fans that are living in denial, I think end up feeling a little bit worse when the bad news hits. In my opinion. Xavier gets in, a supporter. Brad's first 2 years were amazing, but now Slappies are asking you to compare him to Matt Millen. How much lower could the bar be? Exactly. That's why I love talking to guys like you, Xavier. Exactly. I'm not comparing him to Matt Millen, Martin Mayhew. I'm comparing him to Veach and Howie Roseman and Les Snead. Those are the only comparisons he needs to be in the mix of those guys. Exactly. They're like, woo, thank you, Brad. You're better than Matt Millen. Let's raise the bar. Exactly, Xavier. You know what's up. 200 people in here. Smash the like button. Okay, so real fast, what do you guys think of the drafts? Of the free agency period of the Bears, Vikings, and Packers. I really like the Kobe Bryant signing for the Bears. I think the Vikings. Are you guys concerned at all with the Vikings and Kyler Murray? I'm not. I'm like, really? JJ McCarthy is like the ultimate slap in the face. You couldn't hold off the team from getting Kyler Murray. The Packers, I think the division, I think the Bears outside of the Lions, maybe the Vikings had decent free agencies, but I like what the Bears have done. Added Khalif Raymond, the veteran, Kobe Bryant. It's interesting to look at their moves. I respect it. Incoming players, defensive back Cam Lewis, defensive lineman Kentavious Street, Kobe Bryant. That's a signature addition from the Seahawks. They get Devin Bush, Neville Gallimore, Khalif Raymond, Jedrick Wills, They traded for Garrett Bradbury. I feel like it's a decent look. The Packers, I think, were kind of quiet. Obviously, moving on from Gary, but a lot they Packers tend to bring back a lot of their own guys. Did any of the moves in free agency from the division concern you? Donkey Kong. Who's DJ Wonham? He is a outside linebacker slash edge, former Viking Panther. Lions had him in today for a visit. And you guys tell me. I have seen the Alabama lineman for Kuiper. Who did Jeremiah have at number 17? And I'll give you my thoughts. Type it in there. I think Mel Kiper. Now, what stinks is a lot of the guys that don't typically release mock drafts as often as I'm already past that. I already did Proctor early. I did Blake Miller. I did a lot of the defensive ends. So now we're looking at just different names in our circle. Like now, some of the writers are just getting now to Mazador or Caden Proctor or Blake Miller. Like we're doing a mock draft one a week. So I'm on my like fourth or fifth one. So yeah, see, so now a lot of the mock drafts have Alabama's Proctor or Monroe Freeling or Blake Miller. Those are fine. Monroe Freeling can sit back and develop. I'm not. I think Proctor might be a little bit more of a project than Freeling, but both would be okay. I think I like Freeling's upside a little bit more. I like Blake Miller, but I'm thinking in regards to you got to go defensive end first pick. I think 17 now has to be defensive end. You got to get somebody. Excuse me. You got to get a pass rusher. You got to get a pass rusher, and then you can get value in the second round. Maybe a Jennings Dunker if he's there. Freeling would be a solid pick. Yeah, absolutely. So good mock drafts. Did you happen to see Rich Baldwin, my mock draft from yesterday on yesterday's show? I thought it was worthy. We went Akeem Mesidor, hopefully he drops, and Jennings Dunker, first two picks. What do you think of this analyst? One analyst from ESPN said the Vikings had the best free agency. One analyst said the Lions took a step backwards. Now, this is similar to what I do. A lot of these are released during the week. And so, nobody's commented on my beats. Man, what are you guys paying attention? I took them all off the table. Proof of that I went outside the house today. Nobody commented on my beats. Thank you again, One Repub. And thank you, Teddy Fresh, $20 super chat. Appreciate it. Nice orange color. Doc, if we're paying for Lion products, gear, and tickets, I expect them to do everything in their power to win. And over the last 2 years in free agency, draft, and trade deadline, that hasn't happened. MVP, man, you win the day. Probably the biggest super chat and the best take. I just don't see where the Slappies don't see your take. And that's why you're coming here. You have shed the Slappy from your skin. That's as simple as that. Remember, I think the Slappies live off of hopium, and they can always say they're right because eventually one day the Lions are going to put it together, hopefully. But remember that if the Lions win with Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, it would be all-time historic. It would be all-time legendary historic because no team has. Why don't they spit that out? So you want me to believe that the Lions are going to be all-time historic with Dan Campbell and Jared Goff? I kind of want to keep my 2 feet on the ground. I don't want to be in the clouds. I want to be able to say, "Hey, wait a minute." And it was I might have thought myself my week 1 question of Dan Campbell was crazy. I took a lot of heat for it, but it did not look the same. And I also recognize that you can start the season off strong. If you have a whole training camp to learn and communicate and you know who your first week opponent is, you should know all those tendencies. And again, when I look at it, I think I hit a nerve when I brought up Jared Goff. He didn't care about pre-snap motion. He can defend. It hit a nerve when I brought up Jared Goff because it was pretty evident that there were issues with him and John Morton fairly early. And like I said, it was a simple request. Can you replicate? And I didn't even say please do it. I said, is it possible that you can replicate an offense that's in place? Remember, this is remember, the thesis was this is Dan Campbell's offense. The Slappy said, remember, also too, this is where I think having a conversation directly with the Slappy is warranted. The Slappies told me as a observer that losing Ben Johnson, no big deal. This is Dan Campbell's offense. No big deal. Having a new offensive line, no big deal. The national media said, guys, in Detroit, we love your 11, 12, 13, 14 win prediction, but there might be a problem. There might be too many changes. The Slappy said, no problem. So then I said, wait a minute. Okay. If this is Dan Campbell's offense, why is it looking different with John Morton steering the ship? So again, you have to paint the whole picture, good, bad, all of it. And your comment wins the day. I can't beat that comment. Exactly. You raise the ticket prices, you raise the expectation where all we've done is given the Lions the respect that they deserve, which is now you're not in the kiddie pool anymore. You're not in the Slappy pool. The Slappies can go play and talk about the Lions are ranked number 2 on some media members list. We're talking one thing only here at Lions on SI. You're in the are you a Super Bowl caliber team or are you not? That's how you evaluate a real NFL team. And the Lions are in the conversation, but they're not doing the things to get over the hump. That's it. That's how you measure a real team. Is you don't measure them and say, "Oh, the Lions are better than the Stafford era." Wow. Stafford got to the playoffs once every 4 years. Wow. Jared Goff won you 2 whole playoff games. Wow. I want to be in the Super Bowl. I want the best players on the team to execute properly. And it's actually the most sign of respect to say, hey, I think you can do it if you get the right players. So you're absolutely right. Your comment, Teddy Fresh, it wins the day. You just can't beat it. Exactly. Doc does reality. And it's not even all that difficult. It's just the fans want more, the fans deserve better, and there's better players out there. You can see the philosophy. Just because the Lions pick you for a 1-year deal doesn't mean you're a great player. And exactly, that's all you got to put. Lions are the only non-expansion franchise to have never made it to a Super Bowl. Let's take a look at what one analyst said. Is he being fair or foul? And again, this is what we do. We do it on Sundays. What I do is, so these questions that come up, it's a roundtable type format. I ask Vito and Christian questions. They type them up and they put them on the site. We call it the Sunday Roundtable. All those questions have come from myself over 5 years. Now, during the season, obviously, there's game coverage. We don't have roundtables during the regular season, but all throughout the offseason and times where the Lions are on a bye week, we will always have these very similar style roundtables. And it's just, hey, here's what's on Doc's mind. And instead of Doc answering it, Christian and Vito tell me what you think. And also, too, guys, remember, I am the loudest voice on Detroit Lions on SI, but Vito, Christian, Emmett, they have totally different voices. So if you can do math, only 25% of the site is written by me. We divvy it up equally. I do 2 or 3 stories a day. Vito does 2 or 3 stories a day. Christian does 2 or 3. Emmett, 1 or 2. We get to 8. So if you don't like the site, You don't have to read myself. There's other opinions. I know I'm the loudest and the boldest and the handsomest and the most likable, but if you don't like the site, read it, pick another reader. We have 4 paid readers. 4. 4. That's awesome. Okay, tell me what you think of this roundtable. Thanks for the reminder. Lions are one of the teams that hasn't made it. Thank you for the reminder. Again, this is a roundtable featured on ESPN. And again, roundtables are simple. It's just maybe an editor gives the question. On our site, it's me. It's I. And it's just a free agency question. Which team has taken a step backward over the past week? NFL analyst Matt Bowen says the Lions. Taking a step backwards. They added some offensive players who fit the identity of Coach Dan Campbell's program, center Cade Mays and running back Isaiah Pacheco, but Detroit's defense is still missing an edge rusher opposite of Aiden. Veteran Joey Bosa is still available, or the team could look to address this in the draft. The Lions. I didn't want to see this. And I told you on the podcast that I wanted free agency where I would see the Lions being universal winners. See, what I tell you? The Lions are on a list of a team that's taken a step backward. They made no analyst picked the team to be most improved. An analyst said the Chiefs, the Jets, the Panthers, the Steelers, the Raiders, the Rams, the Titans. One stats guy picked the Vikings to be the best team in free agency. They got better. The Vikings, forgive the simplicity, but a team's biggest offseason change is going from 0 starting caliber quarterbacks to 1. Man, that sounds like a Vikings fan. That's what the Vikings accomplished, moving them from a non-contender to a team with a real shot at the postseason. What do you guys think? Did the Lions take a step back? That's tough to see. I hate to see stuff like that. The Lions, they still need that edge rusher. Can you get that impact in the draft? Man, I don't want to see that, but what do you guys think of that? Eric Taylor, just sign an edge. Anybody. And guys, always the chat remind me. Oh, he did sign. DJ Woonham signed. So we'll get after that right now. They signed him. Got it. Well, we did an article on him, so we did the early article when he visited. Good. That's good that they're going to get him in a 1-year deal. What do you guys think of the signing? We'll do a live reaction. They've signed a free agent defensive end. What do you guys think? Now, role player. Let me tell you a little bit from our article. 2 hours ago, we posted at 5:30. If you want to know about him, we'll do the article soon. Christian did it. He was a former Viking, former Panthers, 4th-round pick in 2020. The last 2 years with Carolina. Over 6 years, he's recorded 30 sacks, 250 combined tackles, and 32 tackles for loss. He's now the 4th edge. He's outside linebacker edge. What do you guys think? Role player. Has a chance. 1-year deal worth up to $6 million. Good signing. I think it'll be graded B, B minus. What do you guys think? Who is the edge we signed? His name is, I'm trying to pronounce it properly. DJ Wonham. DJ Wonham. He's 28 years old. So basically, you got a younger Al-Qadim Muhammad, hopefully. 28 years old. Lions signed an edge. See, when Doc goes live, stuff happens. Anything better than Davenport. Let me give you guys his details here. Listed height 6'5", 258 pounds. Outside linebacker, high school Stevenson and Stone Mountain, college South Carolina from 2016 to 2019, 4th-round pick in 2020, 117th overall. What do you guys think of the signing? Second team All SEC as a senior. As a senior, he recorded 37 tackles with 9.5 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. DJ Wonham. It's also at Detroit Lions on his side. That's a story we did 2 hours ago about the visit. Exactly. He's an outside linebacker hybrid. Interesting stuff. Telling here Emmett to get the grade. Outside linebacker hybrid. I think that fits the mold of what the Lions are looking for. Now, you now have a style of how Brad Holmes is doing things. He's trying to find value and guys that can fit the system. Do you guys like it? You have your edge. DJ Wonham. Oh, my guy's here. Now, listen. I will not identify this person, but this is a legendary hater of all haters. Okay? Let me tell you about this person, TV Chips. Like my family. This person decided that the best way to be a Lions fan was to quit being a Lions fan. And he hopped on a bandwagon. He hopped on another whole bandwagon. Broncos, Chiefs. For the last 8 years, all he's been doing has just been sharing messages of how his team wins. He literally declared openly, publicly, that he hopped off the bandwagon. This guy right here, TV Chips, is the anti-slappy of all anti-slappies. He's like, y'all are suckers. Y'all are still podcasting about that loser team. He's like, I'm out. He quit the Lions. And look at this shit. I love it. I actually found a human being who will declare to a Detroit slappy who loves his Detroit teams, who has 5 different color Detroit sports podcast hats. And he happily sends me messages. I quit the Lions. Yes, exactly. Let him know in the chat. And he comes on this chat and tells people this publicly. No shame. No shame. Shame on you. Shame. Shame to this person. Listen, I'm not going to out this person, but if there's a person on this earth I love more as another human being, not in my family, there's not, than this person right here. Freaking dumped the Lion. He dumped the Lions. Look at this. He has no problem anonymously coming out here and just putting this in the chat. Brad Holmes shopping for next year's team at the Dollar General. And he reaffirms that some of my ideas are not terrible. This man will come in and wipe out every slappy on earth with just smiles. He's like, what? You guys are, he'll check in 2 years. You guys still follow that team? He quit the Lions. Lions free. And he did it. He'll just peek in and be like, y'all still waiting on Goff? Y'all still waiting on Campbell? Oh, I won't even air what he puts to me about Dan Campbell. That's the one thing I've never done. Some of the slappies have adopted this rule where they go, well, I'm a Lions fan, but I'm going to take a B team because the Lions are painful. I've never done that. I've never supported or talked about another team as in-depthly as the Lions. But shout out TV Chips. He makes his Lone Wolves debut. He's like, oh, God, I've infested his television. I thought the Lions got relegated to the CFL 3 seasons ago. Christina Shear gets in. Legendary. I bet his wife is a Lions fan. Awesome to see you guys in here. I'm sorry if I'm infesting your phones or your television at this moment, but the Lions made a signing. But listen, thanks to Mr. TV Chips for the ability and love that I have to do social type stuff. It's really cool. I would never do this if TV Chips didn't infest me with a little love of broadcasting. I can't believe it still. He quit the Lions publicly. Oh, we all understand it. What do you guys think of the new signing? Is it Dollar General? Listen, I want to be positive. A lot of my friends are texting. They're like, we're all having fun with AI and all these telemarketers and how all these people get all these messages. Now people are just going into ChatGPT and trying to create messages to send back to the spammers. That's funny. Depth. TM Martin, I'm not buying any more Lions tickets or merch until they show improvement. Coach Walk, we better pick up an edge in the draft, and you would think we would. We didn't last year until we drafted Ahmed. Yeah, a little earlier. I'm hoping with pick 17. Like I said, good signing, good player, role player. Oh, Well, guys, it's a perfect time. You guys know I must document and grade, get back to work. The work actually hit, which is actually perfect on St. Patrick's Day. So thank you guys. Check in with Lions on SI over the next hour. We'll have a grade. We'll have the update of the signing. We'll do a video as well. And the one thing we'll table till tomorrow is obviously the uh, is which draft pick has to step up. We'll talk about Ennis Rakestraw, Terry Arnold tomorrow. We'll talk about his fit, all that good stuff tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your efforts. How am I going to leave with this? I can't leave with this. I got to read another different comment. There you go. One chip, Timu. One Repub. Cheers, Doc. Thank you, guys. Hopefully it was a good hour for you. You now have your edge. We'll do a deeper dive here and visit Lions on SI as we talk about the new signing. Thanks, everybody, for your time. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon. I represent the Detroit Sports Podcast, founded in 2013 with Adam the Jock Strozinski, and TV Chips had a little history in that. If you ever want to do your due diligence, you sleuths can figure it out. And this project is made possible with the Lone Wolves Podcast, thanks to the great sports partner on Sports Illustrated. Thanks, everybody, for your continued support. Thank you for the 60 minutes of your time. We really appreciate it. And thanks again, humbly, for visiting Lions on SI. 8 years strong. Now management is continuing to see that when news breaks, you guys visit us and how this fits in and to the equation. So thanks for making us a little slice of your Detroit Lions coverage. We greatly appreciate it. See everybody tomorrow.